Hello, welcome. I'll just, we're going to do another live feed, and we're going to share some answers to some questions. We put another question out there. So today we have 7 questions, which is a good number. And it'll probably, hopefully be a shorter video this time. The other day we went for about an hour and 20 minutes. I think this time should be less than an hour. It feels that way because there's only 7 questions. So welcome everyone. We're just going to quickly start with a prayer just to make sure the connection is clear, because I had gone back and after I was done the last live feed, I had to chase something out of the house that was standing there. Wasn't able to touch me, but we had to get rid of it. And so that's what we did. And so we'll start off with a prayer. You guys can join if you'd like, or you can listen. It's up to you. Okay, so basically, thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, Grandmas, Grandfathers, Mother Mary, Brother Jesus, many horses and Gianna, and all the good spirits far and wide, sacred animals and birds, guides, teachers, old ancient ones, ascended masters, keepers of the white light, and all the good spirits far and wide that are of divine love, light, energy, and who speak the absolute truth from all dimensions, all space, and all time. I ask for your help and your blessings. I ask you to keep the channel clear while we do the Facebook Live today with people who are watching. I ask for protection from anyone and anyone that has a negative reaction or has any skepticism. I ask for it to all be blessed and purified. I ask that only divine love, light, and energy is allowed in our sacred spaces, and to keep us protected, guided, healed, and loved genuinely. I love you, I honor you, I respect you, and I believe in you, Creator, and all the good spirits, all my relations. Cool. Okay, so hello everyone. We just did a quick prayer just for protection. I usually smudge the house, and it looks a little bit smoky, but you can't really see it. I got candles going, and I do lots of preparations before. I do prayers before as well, but I really feel it's important that people get to see like some of the preparations that we do before we do things like this, so that you can start incorporating it into your own life. So it's important to make sure that everyone is safe. There was interference on the last video. I had gone back and watched it, and I got a kick out of it because it's like, heck yeah, I'd hang out with myself. So it's fun. I don't realize how goofy I can be. Sometimes things just fall out of my mouth. So I still have a couple bad habits to get rid of. I'm only willing to get rid of one, which is smoking. I'm going to keep the swearing part. Keeps it real. So the 7 topics that were brought up are grounding, how to hear your guides, how to connect to your guides, how to earn your gifts, helping your breathing after quitting smoking, feeling love, compassion, and esteem for self, and how to stay up when down. So these are just some of the topics we'll go through. Hopefully we can get through them within 30 minutes to see how fast I can talk. So grounding. Grounding is connecting to Mother Earth. And it's really easy for women to ground because they're already connected to Mother Earth. In the old way, I know from my understanding and knowing energy is we just have to put our feet on the ground and just say, okay, connect to Mother Earth, and you can connect. There is rubber on the soles of our shoes, which is like blocks any type of connection to Mother Earth. So putting your feet on the ground for 2 to 5 minutes every day usually helps. I used to drum dance when I was home, and I get to go do that this year. I'm happy. I used to do it barefoot, and the elders used to get a kick out of it. And I did it because it felt right, and after I had learned about what grounding does, it actually, and many horses and I used to go for walks, and he's like, just feel the energy when you start walking. Ask yourself to connect, because you can still connect to Mother Earth if you have shoes on. You just got to ask. So woman, it's easy for us to, I'm kind of a little bit scattered because I'm trying to get 3 or 4 things settled in my head here. So woman can ground easy. Men need, because women, we all have her elements in our body. We have her earth, air, fire, water. And as women, because we're natural teachers and nurturers of our children and compassionate and loving, that it's easy for us to connect to her. We always have that deep connection, and you can easily ask her to connect every day. Ask and the connection comes through the feet. And there's also another connection that comes through the root. And that one, when we show people how to connect, actually, maybe I'll just do it now. It's really simple. So basically, let's all do this together. You could learn to do this every day. It teaches you to connect. Well, what we're going to share is how to connect to Mother Earth and Creator. So basically, what you do is you open your arms up to Creator, God, your higher power. It's all the same energy. It's amazing, universal life force. And you just raise your arms and say, Creator, I ask you to connect to me, to guide me, protect me, keep me safe, and heal me from this moment on for the rest of my life. I ask you to come and connect through my whole body and stay connected to my heart for the rest of my life, to protect me, guide me, keep me safe, and all the goodness that you provide. Any messages, visions, gifts that I've earned, I accept that within me now. And then what you do is you grab the energy, take a deep breath in, pull it down to your feet, and then you go back up and down, up and down. And you breathe like belly breaths. The belly breaths help the energy come through your body, and then you'll get chills. And then the next one is you open your arms up to Mother Earth. Okay, so you can sit or stand. I just wanted you to see my arms open. And you say, Mother Earth, I ask you to connect to me, to ground me, to keep me safe, to heal me, to guide me and protect me from this moment, from this moment on for the rest of my life. I ask you to connect to my own elements and to help me heal my own life. I love you, I honor you, I respect you, and I believe in you, all my relations. And then same thing, you grab the energy, and breathe it up. Once you get chills, head to toe, and that shows that you've connected to both. So it's basically going to go connect to your heart, and your heart has these energy lines that come out in your hands. And it kind of goes up like a torrential flow, and then you have this amazing white line that goes through you. And that white line that comes down will connect through your root right to Mother Earth. So now there's 3 connections, one on each foot, and then the root connection. So when that's done, usually you can put your arms out, and it's really, really easy to accept your gifts, because a lot of times we earn gifts from the other side, and we're not asking for it, we're not accepting it. So you put your arms out, and you say, okay, Creator, grandmas, grandfathers, and only good spirits of divine love, light, and energy, I accept the gifts that I've earned. I accept the gifts that you've been holding on for me. I accept it within me now. Please forgive me for not asking for them. Please forgive me for not picking them up. And then what you do is you just kind of hold your hands there, and it'll feel like they're getting a little bit heavy. And if you close your eyes and look in your mind's eye, or if you can visualize it or sense it, you'll see that they're putting the gifts on your hands. It could be drums, rattle, blankets. It could be anything. It could be higher intuition. It could be all kinds of good stuff. So once you feel that they're done, then you say, I accept it within me now, and you take a deep breath and you pull it into your heart. And you hug yourself and say, I love you. And then you thank them. You thank them for sharing those gifts with you. So it's important to do that every once in a while. Sometimes their guides will say, you haven't accepted your gifts. So it's important to do that. So you can do it every day if you'd like. You can connect in the shower, because it's the water is an amazing amplifier. So that is an important connection, because our people, actually all nations, all people have been disconnected from Creator and from Mother Earth. So there's no connection, there's no lines that are connecting us, and that's through our core beliefs and our belief systems being disrupted, that we are to rely on something outside of us or someone outside of us to pray for us, and being taught that Mother Earth's energy and her elements are demonic and all these other things, which is a load of doo-doo. So basically, when people take on those beliefs, it literally cuts them off from being connected to Mother Earth and connected to Creator. So that connection that we had just done with you will actually reconnect you, and it'll help you connect to your guides and the other side a lot easier. So do it daily. If you're feeling lightheaded or not in your body, it's important to do that. Whenever you're feeling like you're in a daydream, You can connect all the time or hug yourself. I always say, Barb, get back in your body, and I hug my spirit back in. It's really important to make sure that you stay grounded that way. And another one that helps is like, we'll do it now. So if you guys want to learn a quick technique to ground yourself, I'm just getting comfortable here. So you put your palms of your hands on your shoulders and just visualize like these amazing roots. You can be any tree that you want. You can be an oak tree, you can be a cedar tree, a spruce tree, popular, or any type of tree that you favor or something that you see in your mind. I like oak trees because they can survive fires. That's my understanding. That was shared with me from some powerful healers from the East. So what we'll do is put your hands here and visualize the tree. Okay, and then you're going to see the roots come down. They're going to come out of your hands, and your hands are going to help you. So what you do is you visualize the roots coming down your shoulders, past your chest, past your tummy, down your legs, and out the bottom of your feet. And you'll get almost like a chill-like or sensing or feeling that the energy is going down. And then you see it go down through the floor, through Mother Earth, through her different layers, right to her crystal core. She does have an iron crystal core. And then when you feel the roots are connected, it's really fast. So it doesn't have to take hours or minutes. It's just imagining of seeing it in your mind, and it's there. So you see it, and then you say, okay, I'm asking my roots, the tree of my roots, to connect to Mother Earth's crystal core, to keep me solid, to keep me grounded, to keep me protected. So because I know who I am. I am love, I am light, I am energy, I am absolute truth. And then the breath in locks it in place. It locks it in your memory cells. So then once you feel it's there, you're grounded. And anytime you need to re-ground yourself, you can just put your hands on your knees and say, I'm grounded. And then quickly visualize it or put your hands here. So it could be like a daily practice. So it's important to stay grounded, especially when you're feeling lightheaded. Or for me, after I do work, when we work with clients and after I'm done helping, as much as they feel really light and amazing, it's like I get that too. So it's like sometimes I have to be like, oh, I got to ground myself, or I'll make like stew for supper or something heavy that will help ground my body. And grounding can go through moccasins, yes. It can go through shoes. You just got to kind of ask your body to connect so the energy will go around and connect. You can do it with your bare feet. And when many horses and I used to walk, this is when he used to say, okay, Barb, feel the energy. So I'd feel it, and my body would feel a little bit tense or heavy. And then we'd start walking, and I can feel the energy going down, 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 down. And every, step I could feel it. And it's like, okay, I can feel my body letting go of negative energy, like the grounding. It's getting rid of buildup of too much energy or negative energy that sits on us, and it'll come down off our body. So it's important that we keep our bodies moving because we're bags of water, and if we don't move, our water becomes swampy. So keep your water clean. It's important to really do little daily exercises to help yourself to clear your body. So to connect to your guides are always there. Whether you realize it or not, they're always there. And the whole thing is once we come to realize that we were born with guides, they're always with us. We are never alone spiritually, they're always with us. There's always one directly behind us that we can't see. That spirit we can see on the day that it's time for us to go home. But there's always 2, 3 with us, and it depends. Some people have lots, some people have a little bit, but normally if there's, when you're working with your guides, you're doing healing and stuff, you call them all in. And when you're just doing your everyday thing, like 2 will always be with you, and you could talk to them. And yes, they do come, and they almost do like shift work. They'll come and go, but there's always someone with you. So it's always good to know. And if you want to know who your guides are, then just ask, and you'll get a flash in your mind, or you'll hear a name. And sometimes it's like, okay, that person's not in my culture or in my nation. Why are they walking with me? There's no conditions on the other side. You can have guides from the other side of the world. You can have guides from like the States, from you know, all over the place. It's really amazing. So it's unlimited on the other side. It's unconditional on the other side. The other side will send people to you that you need. And see, when I do writing, I will ask the writers, the prophets, you know, I'll ask many horses to come. I'll ask, you know, anyone that could help me formulate the words, and then I'll do a post. Even when I'm doing writing and stuff like that, I'll ask them to come through and I'll hear the words, or they'll help me formulate the images, and then I'll put it into words. So it works in all different kinds of ways where you can work with your guides. Once you start incorporating them into your life, like today I had this idea I was going to wear my dress, but it was too cold. And then my guides are like, you need to wear purple today. Okay, I can wear purple. So purple shirt, purple sweater. And that helped me connect to the other side. And it's a granny color, and it's healing, and it's powerful, and it's all that good stuff. So they'll sometimes even tell me what color I need to wear. So I'm finding I'm drawn to lots of purple and yellow. So it's like, okay, well, I have purple, and I got to get some yellow shirts at some point this summer if I, you know. So yellow works with the solar plexus. So if you look at the chakra systems, it goes red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, indigo. They will get you to where the colors that that certain area of your body needs help or protection with. And so I was drawn to a lot of yellow about 2-3 weeks ago, and that was to help with my organs, and that was to help me process some of the stuff that I was going back and looking at myself to heal. And I found that I was really drawn to lemonade. So much drinking lemonade a lot. And thanks for the compliment. Hello, everyone who just joined. So it's important to listen to them. I find they can see and know more than we can. So it's important to take what they share with you and kind of go with it. You can ask them why. You can ask them how come, why, what's the purpose, what's the understanding. You can ask them all kinds of questions. It's not like a question like, why do I have to do that? It's like, okay, what's the purpose of purple? And they'll tell you what's going to help you heal. So it's like, okay, so then if you don't know much of the purple color, then you can go to color psychology, or Google color psychology, or Google the metaphysical meaning of purple, or color therapy, or anything like that, and just take all the goodness. And so I understand how purple works, so before I put it on, I knew what the intention was. It was in my mind, so when I use it, it can help amplify my connection and my energy today. So it's like, okay, I'll do that. And to connect to your guides is as simple as anytime you talk in your mind, you're talking to your guides. They hear everything. And after many horses told me, I'm like, oh my God, how do I clean that up? So it's important to know everything that you think. Like, you know, when I used to work at the computer, when I worked at one of the offices many years ago, I was sitting there working. I'm like, oh, Barb, you screwed up. And then you should have known better, and then I'll get a flash on how to fix it. And I didn't know then that flash is my guide showing me how to fix it. And based on the knowledge that I had already retained on how to fix it, they flashed in my mind really quick. And it's like, oh, I know what to do. And then the person behind me is like, Barb, you're talking to yourself? I'm like, oh, yeah, by the way, I do that a lot, so get used to it. And so it's really good. But that's how they'll work with you. It's flashes of the mind, inner knowing, gut feelings, so they're always there with you. It's just a matter of paying attention to it. And so just talking to them, saying, I love you guys, thank you for protecting me every day. Or, okay, I'm going out, can you guys make sure you double protect me? I'm going to put white light around you, can you double that? I'm going to put gold light around you, can you double that? Or put essential oils on and say, I'm going to put the oils on for protection, can you amplify the energy of the oil so that only divine love, light, and energy is allowed in my sacred space? And then what will happen is they will do that because you asked. And you can use them as much as you need to, as much as you want. That's the trick, is a lot of times our guides are like, when is she going to ask us to do stuff? So it's like, okay, go check on my daughter, see how she's doing. Go check on my son. Go check on my mom and dad. Send them lots of love. You know, send protections home to the family. And if I get a flash of someone in my face, like if someone is thinking about me, they'll come in my mind, and I'm like, okay, Send you love and blessings, okay, Creator? They need help, and I'll send them like an energy ball, and just breathe I love you and send them nothing but pure love, pure light, pure healing energy, and just push it out. And energy knows where to go. And what happens is, anytime a person thinks about you, they're either thinking good or bad thoughts. It doesn't matter. You need to pull it out. I disconnect from them, send them love and blessings, send them an energy ball of love and light, and help them on their merry way. Because sometimes people, even in a helper healer situation, people will think about you, and they will talk, and they'll talk about you or the things that they heard about you. So you'll feel like a good light energy on your ears, someone saying something good. But when it feels dense and heavy and hot, someone saying something negative, and negative talk is things on the body, pull that off. And that's all you do, is you just block them, disconnect, send them love and blessings. This way it doesn't come into your place. So I'm going off a little bit off track. So how to earn your gifts is I'm live right now. You want to see my son? He's leaving now. Anyways, so earning your gifts, you can ask. You can ask your existing gifts to be amplified or amped up. If it's too much, you can ask them to take baby steps. When I first started, I wanted it right now, and my guides are like, baby steps, because if you were to see all of it right now, it might be too overwhelming for you. So we're just going to do it slowly, because I wanted it like the whole thing the way I had it when I was a kid. Like, I can see spirits live, and it's like, I'm kind of glad they did it slow. So they kind of ease you into it. So it's kind of like, look, something's not there, and then after a while you're driving down the road and you see 3 people walking, you look back at the split second, there's 2, you actually saw one of their guides with them, or something, or a spirit walking with them. It doesn't really matter, but you'll start getting it back. And there's times where I'll walk around the corner and then I'll see someone standing there, I'm like, oh, and it's like, oh, you scared me. And then I thought it was my son, but I can see many horses standing there. I'm like, geez, you're still scaring me, because he used to play tricks on me and scare me a lot when he was alive. So he used to hide around the corner. And I would be like, and he would get a kick out of it, because the face that I made would go behind me exactly the same and go out and in, and then he would laugh even harder. So it's like a double take for him. And so it's good. So earning your gifts is asking for it. You can ask for it to come fast, but they'll do it at the pace that you need to do it. Some people are naturally born with it, and it gets put away in trauma. So the trauma, what happens is the brain will go into survival mode, and it kind of like will almost shut down, but it'll be like a mechanical way of your body just living, because in any type of trauma, when it's too overbearing, the intense emotions, like some people die of broken hearts, so the brain naturally will do what it needs to keep you to live. So the brain will go into survival mode, like a shock mode, and you'll be in like an extreme fear trauma state response, where you'll feel and see everything. It's like you have no skin. And then once you come out of that, a lot of times trauma will reawaken your gifts. I know when Andriana was alive, I had to meditate. I meditated every day for 5 minutes. Sometimes I went 20 minutes, sometimes I went for an hour, but my intention was just to make that time, and I did. And I would do for 5 minutes. And I would tell my kids, they were small then, it's like, Mom's going to go lay down and meditate for about 5 minutes. I just need you to leave me alone for 5 minutes, because otherwise they're knocking at the door. Their little fingers are under the door. So I just gave them a boundary, and let everyone know that's what I was doing. And I would make sure that I had protection up in the room that I was in. And then I would just lay and train my mind to be quiet. That's the whole purpose of meditation, is to train your mind to be quiet, so that your feeling and your senses can be awakened, so you can get messages or see different things. At first I saw sparks, like little tiny sparks in the air, and then after a while I can see the sparks all the time. And then like even when I was watching TV, I'll see something, I'll see an orb, and I'm like, cool. Once I train my eyes and my mind to be quiet, I'm more aware of the energy, so I can start seeing. then after I started seeing sparks, I almost saw like aurora borealis or northern lights, and I can see them moving around, or sometimes they would be in a circle and they would come like this. And I asked many persons about that. He said, oh, they're working on you when the energy comes over you like that. So it was always really green or blue that circle would come over me. And then after a while, I started seeing faces, and then that's about 2 or 3 months into doing it for about 5 minutes a day. So it was an earning process. It's not something you're going to get right overnight. So don't be hard on yourself. You just got to keep practicing. And then after a while, I started seeing faces come in and go. And it's like ancient faces. And sometimes I'll see friends on the other side. And I'm like, and when you're in there and your eyes are closed, and if you try to look, or you even turn your head to look and with your eyes closed, they'll leave. You just got to kind of be in that place of just looking at everything and just allowing it to happen. Once you try to focus in on it, you lose the connection. So that's where you have to train your mind to really be at ease. And then once you start training your mind, when you start, your mind will start thinking a lot, and it's like, oh, I needed to do this. Oh, I needed to do that. I should have folded the laundry, before I did this. Now I'm thinking about laundry. So Andriana, when I first started, she said, use a trigger word. So I used to use apple. I'd be sitting there and it's like, oh, I need to do laundry, apple. So I would say, brain, I'm going to use the word apple to train you to be quiet because I'm learning to meditate. And I would say it. So it would be a lot easier to sit there and go apple, apple. And then after a while, I'll see the thoughts go by and they won't go in. And it could be outside influence. It could be just because we're so busy all the time and I remember the first time I'm like, apple, 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 oh my God, it's going to take forever. But I just kept not pushing, but it's like, okay, just do it. I'll eventually get there, right? And then once you start getting there, it's almost like a falling feeling or a lifting feeling. It depends on how you sense things. And then I would get into that space. And the more I did it, the easier it was to get there. So once I got there, I went with it. There was times I fell asleep and I used to feel bad. I'm like, why did I fall asleep? And it's like, well, you know what? When you fall asleep in meditation, that's when your guides can get to you and they can give you messages and put it in your subconscious so that it comes out as knowledge later. So just go with it. So meditation is another way to earn your gifts. Going through trauma is another way of getting them back. You can actually put them to sleep, and they could wake them up. So, and also basic, the things when I was in a slump there a while back, my guides are like, go back to the basics, go back to the basics. So I'm like, the basics, meditate. So I started meditating every day. I'd hold rocks or put rocks on my body and clear myself every day. Well, I already did the smudging, but I just like, okay, what did I do in the beginning? I got up, I dropped tobacco every morning, and I gave thanks, and I did asking. And I prayed on the water to be holy water. I did a self-clearing. I dropped tobacco before I went to bed. I meditated at least once a day. So those are the basics for me. So they said, go back to the basics. You need to rebuild your foundation because this is where you started. And now you're on your own again. So you have to restart. You got to build your foundation of knowing who you are and get those practices back in. So that's what I had done was I had went back to the basics. And those basics are something that you're going to learn to apply in your life anyways. So it's a matter of getting it as a habit. So it's like brushing your teeth. You know, when your kids are small and they're like, no, I don't want to brush my teeth. But after a while, they just know to brush their teeth. It's just like us. We brush our teeth morning and night, sometimes 2-3 times a day. Depends on your schedule or however you want to do it. But it becomes a positive habit. That's what you want to do is train yourself to have these positive habits that's going to help you build on your foundation of knowing who you are. And also, the next question that was asked was about breathing. So these are the products that I use. I would only recommend them. I'm not allowed to, it's called Respiration, Deep Lung Cleanse. It's all herbs, and this one actually helps open up the breathing and helps clear the lungs. And this one, lungwort, is the one that's going to help. Let me see it. It's a tincture. I don't know if I'm saying it right. It's going to help heal the lung lining. So if there's any damage from smoking, this will help get rid of it. And you just follow the instructions. Those are really good. And anytime anytime before I'm going to exercise, I will take that because I too am a smoker, and I know that's the last bad habit that I have to get rid of, and I'm not willing to give up swearing. So the breathing part, usually anytime our lungs are affected, I found after I had lost a best friend, aunts and uncles and friends had gone home, many persons went home, I found that my chest felt heavy, and a lot of times that heaviness on the chest is old grief. So it's important to, okay, deja vu. I haven't had that in a while. Cool. Welcome to my world. No, just kidding. So the deep lung cleanse. So the breathing part is it puts weight on the chest, and it affects the lungs, affects the heart, so it feels like a heaviness. And so quitting smoking can have that, because there could be buildup in your lungs. But also identifying, okay, am I still carrying someone? And I was thinking about that the other day. It's like, I remember after Many Horses went home, someone asked me, did you let him go yet? And I'm like, oh yeah. And then I felt like I did. So that night I did a prayer, and it's like, okay, Barb, and I started praying. It's like, okay, forgive me, Creator, forgive me, Many Horses, forgive me, grandmas and grandfathers. I still feel I am holding on to a piece of him. It's the only reason why someone would ask me. I felt I did, but it's like, okay, I let you go. I let go of your memory cells, your DNA. I let go of all of the things that I'm holding on to, and I let it go. And by saying it, allowed the energy to leave, so there wasn't any more energetic attachment. I know he's always going to be with me. It's just the physical part of yearning for him and missing him. That was the part that I had to come to accept and come to peace with, that they're no longer here physically, but they're not dead. They're just transformed into another state of being. So that's something I had to really wrap my head around to come to terms with, that yes, he's gone physically, but he's going to be around forever, because now he's pure energy. He's in a better place, and he can do way more help, and he's way more powerful on the other side. So that's the amazing thing. So it's just being able to identify if you're holding on to someone, if you're holding on to old pain and sadness. So I would tell myself, I let go of all pain, sadness, mourning, grieving, anger, frustration, loneliness, and missing, and put my hand here and go, like I give my heart permission to heal, and then I put my hands here and breathe, I love you. Put love back in. So anytime you take something negative out, or a negative memory cell, you got to put love back in, so negative energy doesn't have room to come in. And it's also a form of healing, protection, guidance, and safety for your spiritual self and your body. So it's important. So hi, my girl. Anyways, my daughter's on. Sorry for isolating you like that. So it's important to keep the lungs clean and to let go of old breathing. So feeling love, compassion, and esteem for self. It's one of the comments was, I can easily give it, but how do I have it for myself? And it's like, well, if you're giving it, you obviously have it. And the trick is, for me, when I first started this road, I had no self-confidence. And when I worked with Many Horses, he's like, come up and help me. So I always waited for his cue, and then he sat me down. He's like, if you need to go up and do it, do it. If your guides are telling you to go do it, you do it. If they're telling you to light smudge, you light smudge. If you need to do something, you do something. You don't need my permission. He's like, you work with your guides. And I'm like, okay. And after a while, I became more comfortable, and I just did, and worked with him and did all kinds of good stuff. And I realized that not having self-love had stemmed from a lot of the criticism, dirty looks, and stuff that I had gone through in my childhood, which affected how I thought about myself and how I felt about myself. See, we have to get through that our thoughts, our feelings, our opinions, and our beliefs are energy of the mind, and it's not who we are. Who we are is how we treat ourselves and how we treat others. So if we're able to be compassionate and loving and caring for other people, then we have that in ourselves. We just have to learn to activate it and show it to ourselves. So I had to get rid of old beliefs. I had to get some core beliefs changed. And I have that again, on my Facebook, like a poster on how to change your core beliefs. So anything that was said that targeted my body, because I had buck teeth and then I got braces. I was my weight always went in and out, in and out, in and out, and that was based on my emotional state of where I was at that time. So if I felt that, and the body will put weight on to protect itself from any type of emotional attack or put down. That's how it works. And if we're doing it to ourselves, then we're going to put on weight on. So it's like, oh, I'm too fat. You're breaking your spirit. My teeth are too crooked. You're breaking your spirit. My hair's not long enough. You're breaking your spirit. You know, and when you go back and you find that when you were a kid, you'll find that, okay, your teeth are too crooked. Who's the first person that said that to me? That's a core belief, because now I believe my teeth are too crooked. And I worked so hard to get my braces in my 20s, and it's like I was born in the wrong continent. In Japan, it would have been really nice. So they embraced that. So when I had did the core beliefs, I wrote in there all the things that were said about my teeth, my hair, my fingers, my toes, everything, my breasts, my back, anything that was said to me, or if someone even looked at me funny because if my roll was sticking out. When we get all of these labels and these reactions and things said to us, you need to rewrite them, because when you don't say anything, it's like there's two people, this person says something, that energy goes into them, it stays inside of them. After a while, it becomes their core belief. It becomes a part of who they are. So it's important to rewrite them to get the energy out. The writing process gets the memory cells and the energy out. And when you write it out, it gets the energy out. And when you check mark off, it shuts the brain wiring and neuron off. And then when you rewrite it, it creates a new one. So it's like, you know, my teeth are perfectly fine. And so all of those different things. So it's a whole healing process when you do the write out of rewriting your core beliefs. So yeah, I'm finding that it's trying to reconnect. It's popped up twice. Is it still on? Can you still see me? Just give me a thumbs up. Okay, I just hope it stays clear. We've had some windy weather, so that might be affecting your connection. So loving yourself is waking up every day, hugging yourself and saying I love you. Doing mirror talk. And if you're brought up with compliments and as you get older you don't have them, you got to still do it for yourself. If you were brought up with put downs or criticizing and judgments, then you need to correct your mind and then start complimenting yourself. Good job. You know, if no one's there to say good job to you, you say it to yourself. If no one's there to say anything good to you, you need to say it for yourself. Now, correcting the mind is important. I had shared this in the last video. Anytime you have a negative thought, you correct it. Delete, delete, delete. And then you correct it, kind of like, oh, I don't like the color of her shirt. And then I'll be like, oh, delete, delete, delete. Forgive me. I love the color of her shirt. It looks good on her. It's just not my preference. So you just continue to correct your mind, and it's the same thing. It teaches, like, our brain has these electrical currents, if you want to call it, these wiring where it's like to say something negative, and it's like this. And every time you correct yourself, it's shutting that off and it's creating a new connection where now you're training your brain to be positive. So it's like neuroplasticity. So it's a constant retraining of the mind and changing of the core beliefs. And then you'll, over time, feel that once you change your core beliefs of all the crap that was said to you and it leaves you, if you feel lighter inside. Like I used to walk around like a hunchback, my back's straight now because of all the crap I was carrying that wasn't mine. So I got rid of that. My back is straight. I walk better. My posture is a lot better. And so I've learned that those are the two core things with meditation and going to the basics is where you need to start in order to help yourself. So in order to become a helper and a healer, you have to help yourself first before you can put yourself out there. Because if you're only at 20%, all you're going to give is 20%. If you're running at 150%, you can give 150%. So it's a matter of self-care, and it's self-care. It's being aware of yourself, being aware of your thoughts. It's not kind of like, who's the boss? You're your brain. Are you going to allow your brain to keep ramble shit off and hit people with negative energy with the things that you say, or are you going to correct yourself? Because as soon as you think or say something, it comes. You think it comes here. You say it, it comes here, and even from your being. So now this energy is going out, and it's going to hit the person. As soon as you say delete, 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 forgive me, and then you replace it, that energy is going to go out, and it's going to replace the damage that you put there on their path and yours. So it's really important that you correct yourself, because that's how energy works. And once I learned that even in thoughts, that we can cause harm to other people, and whatever we think or say about things is going to be put on their path, I'm like, holy crap. And I actually had to go back and remember the times that I've actually put a person down or gossiped about a person, and do prayers and send them an energy ball to remove it out of their mind, their body, their spirit, their emotions, and off their path. As soon as it's cleared from them, it's cleared from mine. So we're all human until we learn, you know. So don't beat yourself up. Just go back and correct it. That's how simple it is. Okay? So, and how to stay up when you're down. So basically, anytime people go through stuff in their life, a breakup, or something traumatizing is going on in their life, your energy is going to go down, because you're trying to build yourself back up. So it's really important to put essential oils on before you go out. Breathe, I love you. Don't take things personal. Once you start working on your core beliefs and correcting yourself and going back and finding your own triggers, kind of like if someone judged me on the color of my sweater and it hits my gut, excuse me, then I go back and it's like, who did I judge wearing purple? Who did I see judge wearing purple in my childhood? Or who did I judge wearing purple? And then it's like, okay, I forgive the person who taught me how to do that. I forgive myself for doing that. I ask them, their spirit, to forgive me. I clear that energy from them. It clears it from me. And I pull the energy off me as I'm talking. And then the next time someone makes a comment about my purple shirt, it's not going to hit me. It's like it'll go into you, because you have that memory still, because you've done it inside of you. That's the only reason why negative energy can go inside of you, is because the memory's inside of you. Once you admit it, there's no memory, so it's like this invisible barrier. So it'll just go thunk. It's like a balloon. It's not going to hit you. That's what healing does, is it stops negative energy from going inside of you. So trigger maintenance is also really important in how to keep yourself and your energy up. And wearing, I said, essential oils, breathing I love you, clearing it off, don't take things personal. And yes, with human behaviors, people will kick you when you're down, because negative people who are in a negative state of mind, who are unaware, will do those things because they can, and when you understand people who are vengeful, when you understand people who are mean, who like to gossip, there is a gratification energy out of it. It kind of like, I feel really good now because I said all this shit about these people and I put them down. I'm feeling good. So there's the gratification. It's like a self-motivation energy. They actually get a kick out of it. Their body feels good. So it's like a false high. So it's like an endorphin release in the brain. It's like a happy chemical when someone else sees that, okay, I'm doing better, I'm going to put them down so I feel better. So that's how energy works. And when they feel good, it's because they're putting all of their hidden agendas, their hidden secrets, things they've done in their past, things they're too chicken shit to do. They're judging someone else, so they're putting it on their path, and they're exposing their past, and they're actually putting it in front of themselves. So when you understand the energy and you start correcting yourself, it clears your past, it clears their path, and it clears yours. There's no blocks on anyone's path anymore. So it's just understanding how the energy works. And once you understand how the energy works, it's easier to pay attention to when gossip is going on. When gossip happens, you can change the subject, add humor, talk what you know about them, walk away. And when you walk away, the key is to ask for Creator and grandmothers and grandfathers that everything that they say is blessed and purified, and not to hit that person. And you ask for protection to go to that person you're talking about, and you ask for their energy to be contained, because So what happens is when a group of people come together in negative gossip or putting people down or pointing out their flaws, what it does is it sends a whole shitload of negative energy to them, and it can literally cause a curse. It can cause negative energy, like stings on the body. It can put their body into stress. Their immune system goes down, and over time, and it's nonstop. When it's nonstop, what happens is their immune system will break down, and sickness can dwell in an acidic body. So cancer, disease, body aches, pains, and stuff come from a whole shitload of negative energy. So correct yourself. Protect people who are innocent. It's super, super important that you watch what you say, especially when you're a healer or whether you're gifted or not, because energy goes where it is intended in what you're talking about. So another comment here is elder energy versus bully energy. So a lot of times I've worked with many people, many amazing healers from Ontario all the way over to BC, and I have come across few, not all of them are like that, where they'll look at me, it's like, well, you're a woman and you're not old enough, and you don't know everything, and sometimes, not always, it's like a woman belongs at home type of thing, right? And many horses at that time would speak up for me, and he would share teachings. So, and everything that I've learned is today children are born really, really advanced. I mean, they have gifts beyond, like they're coming back with full powers. They're coming back being able to move objects, seeing the future, reading through people, and we're having older people that don't have that knowledge, not knowing how to handle them, and they're getting labeled with all kinds of stuff like ADHD and things like that, and they're being medicated, and it's shutting off their gifts. And the other side has been sending groups of people in to help pave the way for the path to help people get back to their roots, get back to who they're supposed to be. And when you have people who don't know the old way, or people that have conditioned beliefs, it's suppressing those who are gifted. And a lot of times it feels like a really dominating, it's like a controlling energy. They're trying to suppress you. And that is like a bully energy. Like, you're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to do that. They have all of these old rules that don't apply, and our little ones and our children are being suppressed, and a lot of times they're being medicated. A lot of them are going through what they call schizophrenic psychosis. And if you research schizophrenic comes from the hammer of the witches, and that's what they use to kill gifted people. Why are they still using outdated material to label a person who is so gifted and doesn't have the teachings to get rid of the dark stuff that they're seeing? There's a big difference. Some do go to psychosis, and that's where their brain is miswired, and they go really off balance. When they get to that point, it's harder to bring them back. But if you can get them to a teacher, to someone to show them how to use their gifts, how to block dark stuff, how to call the angels in, the child will be okay. They just need to know what they're sensing and they're feeling is totally normal. It's way like before the colonization happened, before the teachings were changed, we all knew what to do to help each other. We all knew about these gifts. We all knew about spirits. We all knew about the things that we could see, sense, and feel, and we didn't shut it up. Now we're getting to that place where we can talk about it. We can get to that place where young ones have massive knowledge, and they have access to higher realms and access to higher beings and ancient ones that a lot of people don't have access to. So, my mom used to tell me, Barb, be careful how you talk to people. You don't know who's gifted. It could be a little kid. It could be an old man. Treat everyone with respect. So, and she was right in that sense. So it's really, really super, super important to treat everyone who is gifted with ultimate respect. I've worked in places where I was treated with kindness and then afterwards with attack. And it didn't matter how much they were smiling and being nice. I could feel the energy coming from their area, and when I would get home, I could see their faces flashing because they're now talking about me, when all I did was be respectful and do what I was asked to do. So it depends on the mentality of the people. It depends on the teachings. Everyone has different gifts. Everyone has different healing modalities. Some people have more understanding of spiritual energy and how it works with the spiritual world than a person who doesn't. So it doesn't make them better. It just means that everyone has more understandings. Everyone has their own way of healing, their own way of sharing, their own way of teaching. Some share a lot, some don't share a lot. So it depends on the person. And what I've learned was the more you share, the more you gain back from the other side. You don't lose your power. You don't lose your strength. Someone cannot take your gifts away. The only one that has the power to do that is extremely gifted people. I know many horses have that, and the other side. So it's not, you can't take gifts from human to human. So it's really important to know that, to be unconditional and to accept people for who they are and what they have to offer. And a lot of times there, in the spiritual world, there is no territory. That's just a physical thing. So as long as you're willing to help, as long as you're willing to, and the people are willing to come to you, then you can help them. So healing is never forced. It's something that you have to do on your own. You just have to know the steps to get there. So that's what we share is here are the simple steps. You just have to do the work and know your worth. Because, you know, I've taken myself from being 220 pounds beaten down to healthy and fit and feeling really good about myself. And it's like, I can breathe and I don't feel blocks and I feel good about myself, and that's okay because it's a healthy perception without ego. And I share everything that I've done, everything that I've learned in order for other people to know what to do, because I know in my 20s when I went through a lot of the violence, and then after that I had gone through like a bad medicine, or if you want to call it a demonic energy was trying to affect my life, where doctors couldn't help me. That's when I turned to our old ways, and that's when I changed my whole life. And it's like that point, at that point, it's like I don't ever want people to ever feel like they have no place to go, because I felt like I had no place to go. And thankfully, my Auntie Minnie, who's now on the other side, gave me a phone number of a healer who was my first teacher. And she accepted me, and I never felt so much acceptance before from one person. Like, holy shit, she's treating me like she really loves me. I've never really had someone accept me like that. And I embraced her in her teachings. And it was like 6 months later, she's like, oh yeah, by the way, did you know I'm your new teacher? And I'm like, really? And I was so naive. I was just in awe, and I just loved her because she was so open with me. And the same thing with many horses. He was so open, and I had so much respect for him that I couldn't believe how accepting a person can be of me, because I had never really had that right off the bat, that a person saw me here and not what my body looked like, which was a great thing. So that's how that is what I strive for. And when people walk in my house, or come to see me, I treat them with that same respect and acceptance when they walk in, because I want them to know you have a place to go when I didn't. And many horses felt the same way, and he had the same similar stories. So it's always knowing you have a place to go. So I'm done all the topics, and I need to cook supper and run to the store. So thank you for listening. It was lots of fun. I really, really enjoyed doing this. I'll probably more than likely do it in a couple days. Okay, guys, have a good night. Send you lots of love. I disconnect from you. Send you love and blessings. Bye.